Well, good morning, race fans, and welcome to the CPTC race facility here in Beausejour. We're going to start off today with race number 1. This is the Junior 2 Stock Fan Class 380cc machines for 13 to 17-year-olds. This first race of the day will be 3 laps, and lining up, total of 3 riders. The number 60 will be Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve. The number 59 is Hunter Johnson. Hunter is from Drayton, North Dakota on a 2001 Polaris. And the 23 is Dylan Fox out of Balmoral, Manitoba, riding a 2001 Polaris. Getting going now, our paramedics have arrived. Today's event sponsored by Wet Distribution and Sales, MacDon, and FXR. There is the number 59 at the line now, the 2001 Polaris Johnson Racing chassis. With a 59, Hunter Johnson, alongside a pair of other riders, including the number 60 of Braxton Cassidy, who will start outside on the front row. Total of 3 laps for race number 1 right here in the Junior 2 Stock Fan 380 class. Don't forget, we're broadcasting live on 88.5 FM if you're in your vehicle. Here we go, race number 1. Want to welcome everybody back to the CPTC facility. Don't forget, we will be running the 59th Canadian Power Toboggan Championship tomorrow. The 60th will be held in March due to the COVID regulations over the last 20 months or so. Whoa, heads up, we got a crash already in turn number 3 and 4. Rider is off the sled. The sled is in the bales. I believe the rider is up and walking around, however, so that is good news. We'll get you an update just as soon as we can from turn 3 and 4. We believe that is the number 23 of Dylan Fox out of Balmoral, Manitoba, aboard a 2001 Polaris. Over the last 20 months or so. So our safety crew is going to need to get down there right away.
Heads up, we got a crash
and check things out.
Number 3 and 4.
Don't forget to get your program when you came in the gate. They are available over there. Beautiful program here for 2021, the last race here in 2021. We are here all weekend. Of course, tomorrow the start time is 10:30. Complete with the crowning of the 59th Canadian Power Toboggan Champion tomorrow right here in Beausejour. Want to welcome all of our fans, our racers, and crews. Great to be back here at the half-mile facility. Taking care of the incident in turn 3 and 4 now. Our safety crews, all volunteers, doing a nice job cleaning up, and we will get set to go once again. Now, attention in the pit area. We are now on race number 1. This is the Junior 2 Stock Fan 380 class. Next, race 2 will be the Pro Champ 440s. Then race 3, the Sportsman 600s. Race 4, Pro Formula 500s. As well as race 5, they will also be Pro Formula 500s, and a great field there for race number 4 and race number 5 in the Pro Formula 500 class. Both of those will be 5 laps. If you're looking at your lineup sheet, did you get what at the gate? Well, if you did, we are going to swap race 9 and 10 on your lineup sheet, so just reverse the order. So the Junior 2 Sprint class, the 600 class, will be 10th, and race 9 will be the Pro Champ 440 race right after our first Quebex grooming break. Don't forget to log on to the website at cptcracing.com to keep up with the entire season. We are back here, of course, in March and looking forward to that. Many upgrades to the facility here in 2020 and 2021. Various grants were given to the facility, and the place has been fixed up, including a new fence right around the facility. So pretty impressive stuff. A beautiful place here in Beausejour, and great to be back racing on the big half-mile oval. Looking at our next race, the Pro Champ 440 race, that will be 7 laps, part of the USSA Pro Star Cup. It is sanctioned here today. Travis McDonald, a local rider out of Goner, Manitoba, riding the Skidoo, is back for this season. 4-time world champion and reigning CPTC champion Blaine Stevenson is here as well on the Wall Brothers sled. Out of West Chicago, Illinois, Gunnar Stern back. sponsored by Red Bull and Woody's Traction. He is a 2-time USSA champ and a 3-time CPTC champion. He is aboard the 2020 Red Bull Skidoo, and we will see that class coming up next. A couple of rookies as well, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get to race number 2 of the day, which will be your Pro Champ 440 class. All right, we are cleaned up and ready to go. Back to the starting line comes the 59 of Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota, riding a 2001 Polaris Johnson Racing chassis. And the number 60 of Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba. That is a 1999 Polaris. Getting set to go racing, race number 1 of the day. Number 59 with a good start. That is Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota. Junior 2 stock fan 380 class on the racetrack, ages 13 to 17. You must run a stock chassis and a stock fan-cooled engine up to 380 cc. So that's the rules in the Junior 2 stock fan 380 class for 13 to 17-year-olds. This race was scheduled for 3 laps. Lap number 1 now in the books officially is the number 60 in the second spot. That is Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba. Last lap, 60 miles per hour, 6-0 on the radar gun. White flag coming out this time for your leader in race number 1 in the Junior 2 Stock Fan 380 class. That is the 59. The driver is Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota. 1 more lap to go. The flag man on the front straightaway is Riley. As the number 60 rides on by, Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba. The leader, well, with a huge lead here. Full straightaway on the big half mile. As your leader comes out of turn number 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway, the first winner of the day in race number 1 on your schedule will be the number 59 of Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota. 2001 Polaris Johnson Racing chassis takes the checkered flag in race number 1. Race 2 coming up momentarily, brought to you by Wet Distribution, FXR, Moosehead, and Twisted Tea. All right, all part of your USSA series here. That is the USSA Pro Star Cup, and we are ready to go with the Pro Champ 440 class. The number 26 is out of Beausejour, Manitoba on a 2019 Arctic Cat. This is Quinn Whitechuck, first time ever in this highly competitive class. This is the premier class in the USSA Pro Star Cup, and they will be racing for the first tour event in the feature later on. Lining up second, the 220 Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois, riding a 2022 Skidoo. He is sponsored by Red Bull and Woody's Traction, 2-time USSA champ and a 3-time CPTC champion on the 2020 Skidoo. Aboard the number 75, this is the Cook Motorsports 75 out of Dayton, Minnesota, 2016 Wall chassis. The driver is Calvin Cook. And riding the number 8, a local boy out of Goner, Manitoba, riding the Skidoo, BRP FXR Racing Skidoo. This is Travis McDonald. And on the 102, the reigning CPTC champ, also a 4-time Eagle River World champion on a 2020 Polaris. He is sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing, Jimmy Johns, and FXR Racing. The 102 out of Hutchinson, Minnesota is Blaine Stevenson. And first time in the Pro Champ class as well. He's on the front straightaway on that good-looking Demon Racing number 370. That is Matt Salai out of Garson. And riding the 87, the first female to ever run Pro Champ sleds here in Beausejour out of Drayton, North Dakota, Madison Phillips, scheduled to start on the 87, and that is a 2020 Wall Brothers Johnson chassis. Getting set to go. We have a total of 7 Pro Champs here, and they will compete for the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships right here tomorrow in Beausejour. That will be the 59th running Sunday right here on the big half mile. Don't forget, we are broadcasting live with cooldown.tv. We want to welcome all of you that are tuned in on the internet, bringing you to this great event. Lots of racing to do. We have a total of 34 races on the schedule thus far. Looks like we have a few riders missing here. Riley looks them over and waves the green flag. Look at that, a great start for the number 87. Madison Phillips. Racing down the back straightaway. They are moving already. Wow. Pro Champ 440s. Looks like troubles for the 370 as they roar by the start-finish line. Travis McDonald in the second spot on the number 8. He's out of Goner, Manitoba. Salai parked on the inside of the back straightaway by the looks of things. Green flag still on the racetrack. No yellow as of yet. Great racing up front. The 102 Blaine Stevenson battling with Travis McDonald, the reigning CPTC champion right now, showing the way. But Travis McDonald not giving up on that skidoo. He is right there. Green flag being displayed still on the front chute. Look at Travis McDonald on the 8. He is charging right by the 102, sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing, but Stevenson battles right back in turn number 1 and 2. What a great race here in race 2 on your schedule, the Pro Champ 440s. 7 laps is the distance. What a race up front. Look in turn number 1 and 2. They are moving right along here. Travis McDonald once again taking a run at the leader in turn number 1 and 2, but can't get the job done. Closest race of the day so far here in your Pro Champ 440 class, part of your USSA Pro Star Cup Series event. White flag is being displayed. One more shot here for Goner's Travis McDonald, 2017 Valcourt champ. Trying to get by a very fast number 102. Troubles for Travis McDonald as he slows in turn number 3. That will eliminate his chances in this first race. Checkers for the Wall Brothers 102. '87 comes across. Madison Phillips finishes her first race on a Pro Champ 440 sled. Mads Delay on the 370 is running, but slowly. And Travis McDonald with troubles over in turn number 3. Pride of Goner, Manitoba. Sponsored by Skidoo, BRP, and FXR Racing. Will need assistance in turn 3. All right, moving on to our next races. Race number 3 coming up. Sportsman 600 for 5 laps. Then we'll go with 2 races of Pro Formula 500s. Race number 4 and race number 5. Both 5 laps. Race 6 will be our RM 300 SS fan-cooled free air Saturday final. Race 7 will be the ice bikes. We'll go to 2-wheelers for race number 7. And race 8 will be your ATV open before a grooming break. Brought to you by Cubex. We understand there has been a change to the format. Of course, we just saw race number 2. That's the Pro Champ 440s with some riders missing. Well, we are going to add a race, so those ones that were missing should make the line this time. So an extra Pro Champ 440 race for you coming up. Then it will be the Sportsman 600s, then the Pro Formula 500s, and on from there. Pro Champ 440s, of course, your premier ice oval class. It is the Canadian Championship class and the USSA Pro Star Cup class. Of course, they are on custom-built chassis with stock 440 engines. Minimum weight is 400 pounds, and you're not allowed any exotic material like carbon fiber, magnesium, or titanium. So Pro Champ 440s coming to the racetrack for their second race. Very, very exotic sleds, very expensive, and very fast. All right, here they come. Yeah, we'll see them when they get here. All right, collecting over in turn number 3 and 4. As we get set to go racing in the Pro Champ 440 class. This will actually be race number 3 on the day, which is not on your schedule. Good look at number 75 of Calvin Cook out of Dayton, Minnesota. 26 of Quinn Whitechuck, and the 220 of G-Money Gunnar Stern, the Red Bull Skidoo. He is out of West Chicago, Illinois. Also sponsored by Woody's Traction. 2-time USSA champion and a 3-time CPTC champion. 2020 Skidoo getting a heck of a start there and the whole shot here in our second race of the Pro Champ 440 class. Lap number 1 is done here. Gunnar Stern showing the way. All right, if you'd like to make adjustments to your program, you can call this race 2B. Race 2B is the Pro Champ 440 class. G-Money Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois, showing the way, and quite convincingly as he builds his lead throughout this race. Race 2B, or Pro Champ 440s. Red Bull Skidoo looking awful quick. Quinn Whitechuck in his first Pro Champ 440 race in the second spot. Good look at number 75, Calvin Cook, on the Cook Motorsport 75 out of Dayton, Minnesota. That is a 2022 wall chassis in the third spot. But G-Money continues to get the job done here in Race 2B, your Pro Champ 440 class. Ticking down the laps is G-Money Gunnar Stern, sponsored by Red Bull and Woody's Traction Products. Great rider out of the West Chicago, Illinois area. This time around, the white flag should be out, indicating just one more lap for your leader, Gunnar Stern. And there it is, 1 to go for the number 220. Here comes second and third place now. 26, Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour. He is riding a 2019 Arctic Cat. Cook on the 2022 wall chassis. Checkered flag is out, not much question about that one. Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois on the Red Bull Skidoo takes the win in Race 2B in the Pro Champ 440 class. Second, a pretty good run for the 26 of Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour. And the 75 is third, Calvin Cook out of Dayton, Minnesota aboard the 2022 wall chassis will take third spot in Race 2B, the Pro Champ 440 class. All right, rolling right along here. This should be race number 3, your Sportsman 600s for 5 laps. Riding the 16 is DJ Saluk out of Beausejour, Manitoba. That is a 2000 Polaris. Aboard the 116, keep your eyes on this guy. Awful fast each and every year. John Zielinski is on the 116 out of Winnipeg. The number 15 is Kyle Omachinsky. He is from Beausejour. The 23, Will Manchelenko from St. Malo. That is a 1996 Skidoo. Also aboard a 96 Skidoo. Out of Beausejour is the 13. This is Jonathan Hall. And driving the 33R is Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. A 1994 and a half Polaris. Sportsman 600 class, 1983 to 2000 production Articat, Skidoo, Yamaha, or Polaris snowmobiles can be included. 600cc max. No chassis modifications are allowed, and limited engine mods are allowed. Of course, the skis are changed, as you can see, in the tunnels, but no major chassis work is allowed. And a good start for the number 15. Wow. Kyle Omachinsky out of Beausejour, Manitoba, aboard a 2000 Polaris. Look at the action in turn 1 and 2. They are getting at it early. Oh, we've got a rider down into the bales. And the rider is already up. How about a hand for him? Wow. That looked pretty bad, and I'm sure the rider is a little shook up, but we will get a red flag and start this one once again. Our safety crew will get to work on the back straightaway. On race number 3 on your schedule, the Sportsman 600s. If you're in the pit area, race 4 and 5, the same class, Pro Formula 500. So race 4, Pro Formula 500, race 5, Pro Formula 500. Those are the next two after this Sportsman 600 race. After that, it'll be the Relic mods. That'll be race 6 on your schedule. Ice bikes, then ATV Open, then a Cubex grooming break. Can anybody see? Looks like the driver on the back straightaway is the 116 of John Zielinski out of Winnipeg, riding a 1998 Skidoo. Good to see John is up and walking around. His sled will be taken back to the pit area, obviously, and evaluated. Over 4,000 bales around the half-mile oval here at CPTC. That is a lot of work for the volunteers. A beautiful facility, and they work awful hard to keep this place ticking right along. Once again, a big welcome to all the folks watching at home on cooldown.tv. Also told we're going to go live on Facebook a couple of times here today, so you can also check it out over there if you like. Once again, to staging, final call, race 4 and 5, Pro Formula 500s. Race 6, Relic mods. Then the ice bikes, then the ATV Open. Zielinski now has been cleaned up, the number 116 back to the pit area. So we will restart this race 3 on your schedule, the Sportsman 600s, momentarily. Well, the Relic mods coming up in race number 6. Always interesting to watch those sleds. Those engines are old. They must be from the 71 production year or earlier. You can modify, but Relic mods, an engine pre-1971. DJ Saluk got a Beausejour on the number 16, first to the line. There's the 15 of Kyle Omachinski, who got the whole shot last time. 23. That is Will Manchelenko, the 13, of course. Out there as well, that is Jonathan Hall at a Beausejour. Jonathan is on a 1996 Skidoo, and the 33R is Will Resenbrink out of Minnesota. 94.5 Polaris. Look at that number 15, shot out of a cannon once again. Kyle Omachinski at a Beausejour on his 2000 Polaris with a great start. Just a note to all of our trackside parkers, if you're listening in on 88.5 FM, we ask that you please turn off your headlights. There is a truck or a car in turn 4 with their headlights on. Thank you. That was quick. That is for obvious safety reasons. Don't want to blind the drivers as they come through turn 3 and 4. Racing number 3, race 3 on your schedule today. Sportsman 600s. Will Resenbrink on the 33R showing the way. Kyle Omachinski at a Beausejour on the 15 in a battle for second and third place now. DJ Saluk into the second spot. That rider out of Beausejour. Manchelenko was on the number 23 from St. Malo, currently running in the 4th spot unofficially. Checkered flag is out on this one. Looks like the 33R of Will Resenbrink will win it. Then the number 16 second, Saluk. Third is Kyle Omachinski after 2 great starts. Kyle Omachinski at a Beausejour finishes third, the 23 fourth. Will Manchelenko, and the 13, of course, is John Hall at a Beausejour aboard a 96 Skidoo. That will do it for race 3 on your program. That was the Sportsman 600 class. Next up, race 4 and race 5 after that. That'll be the same class, Pro Formula 500s, Heat 1 and Heat 2, respectively. All right, so in race 4, Pro Formula 500s, Heat 1 for 5 laps. The 24 is out of Beausejour aboard a 91 Polaris. This is Jordan Sobetsky. On the number 446 is Mike Shackelford from Oakville, Manitoba. On the number 9 is Stefan Carignan out of Winnipeg. The 685 is Tanner Davey out of Badger. And the 96 is Bruce Rosentreader. He is from Whitemouth, Manitoba on a 2015 Acme Company chassis. Bruce Rosentreader rounding out the field on the number 96 for race 4 in the Pro Formula 500 class. Well, a good field. We have a couple of heats of these guys and ladies, and Pro Formula 500 class is your entry-level ice oval class. Now, the sled must originate from an 89 to 92 Polaris Indy 500 or 89 to 92 400 Indy, and they must be carbureted. Stock engines, some chassis mods are allowed. Minimum weight on these sleds is 400 pounds. That is your Pro Formula 500 class. Entry-level ice oval class. And always competitive each and every year here at CPTC. 24 is Jordan Sabetsky out of Beausejour. Jordan started his career over at the Kitty Cat track located just on the other side of the back straightaway. He leads the 4.46 of Mike Shackelford out of Oakville, Manitoba. This race scheduled for 5 laps. Hope you're enjoying the race action so far here live, or if you're logged into cooldown.tv. Always a great broadcast. Chris and Anthony doing a nice job each and every year. Well, we were talking earlier about Jordan Sobetsky being a part at one time of the Manitoba Mini Sled Racers Association. They are over there today. A group of youth ice oval snowmobile racers aged 4 to 14, and they race out of Beausejour here, as well as North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. They have 9 classes with everything from stock kitty cats to modern 120cc sleds. And, of course, now the Open 206s. Those things are quick. And here we go. Checkered flag is out. The 24 will win it out of Beausejour. Followed by Shackelford, the 9, with a nice run as well. That is Stefan Carignan out of Winnipeg on a 91 Skidoo. So that'll do it for race 4. 5 laps. Pro Formula 500 class, and we will see that Pro Formula 500 division once again in race number 5. This will be Heat 2 for 5 laps. The 91 is going to be Sam Glure out of Whitemouth. The 15, Kyle Omachinski, is out of Beausejour. We did see him earlier in the Sportsman 600 class. Riding the 95 is Jerry LePage out of Murillo, Ontario, riding an 89 Polaris. And also on an 89 Polaris, Will Resenbrink is out of Malacca, Minnesota. We saw him earlier win the Sportsman 600 class. 33R Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota in race number 5, Heat 2 of your Pro Formula 500 class. All right, getting to the line now. Here we go. We're getting set to go racing in race number 5 on your schedule. There is the 95 of Jerry LePage out of Murillo, Ontario. Getting up to the starting line here. Total of 4 sleds scheduled to start this one. One lap complete now. Look at the battle coming out of turn number 2. Wow, they are side by side. 4 of them now in turn number 3. What a race. Number 33, that is Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota, looking real good here as one of the riders is off the pace in turn 1 and 2. And that driver will head to the pit area. 3 remaining on the racetrack. 5 laps is the distance in race 5, the Pro Formula 500 class. Looks like the 91 Sam Glure out of Whitemouth, Manitoba on the 89 Polaris trying to catch the leader, Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota, but not having much luck so far, as the white flag will be seen this time, indicating the final lap in race number 5. 33, the 91, the 95. That is Jerry LePage in the third spot. The third and final spot, in fact. Pretty close race for a time here in race number 5. They have since sorted themselves out and strung out just a little bit. Checkered flag is on the front straightaway. 33, the 91, and the 95 in that order. The 33R, Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota, wins on his 1989 Polaris. Next up, Relic Mods. Also have Superstocks. This is race 6, your final for 3 laps. Here's how they're going to line up. The 501 is Mike Kelly out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba, riding a 71 Skidoo. On a 1971 Snowjet, the number 13 is going to be John Hall, and John is out of Beausejour. Aboard the number 69, Colin Demianic is out of Winnipeg, and he's riding a 1970 Skidoo. The 541 is Darren Lowe's from Cottonwood, Arizona, 79 Yamaha. Cottonwood, Arizona's Darren Lowe's. That has to be the long tow award. How do you practice sled racing in Arizona?
Hit the sand.
Yeah, I guess some sand racing maybe. I don't know. That'd be rough on a sled. 57 is Ken Bruce out of St. Anne, Manitoba. Ken is on a 71 Yamaha. Also on a 1971 Yamaha. The 13 is Kieran Lowen from Altona. And rounding out the field, out of Lanigan, Saskatchewan, a 71 Arctic Cat. 179 is Jason Mackey. Understand the 13 Kieran Lowen is the scratch. I'm not sure where that rider in turn 1 is going, but somebody needs to tell him that the green flag is not flown yet. Well, this race scheduled for 3 laps. The rider on the back straightaway apparently wants 4. Throw the green flag now. Make them catch up. That'd really be riding from the back to the front. Past the green flag, so they're going to start that rider on the back. That is the 501 of Mike Kelly out of St. Genevieve in the penalty box. 69 with a good start. That's Colin Demianic. 300 Superstocks, Relic Mods on the track, fan-cooled free air. 3 laps is the distance. So 13. Oh. We understand there's been a change. The 13 that is scratched is John Hall. John Hall is scratched. Jason Mackey out of Lanigan, Saskatchewan on the 71 Arctic Cat, looking good here in race number 6 on your schedule. Jason Mackey out of Saskatchewan on a 1971 Arctic Cat. Sled number 69 is Colin Demianic out of Winnipeg. That one is a 1970 Skidoo. Relic Mod engines must be from the 71 production year or earlier. Third spot is the 57. That's Ken Bruce out of St. Anne, Manitoba. Mike Kelly on the 501 clawing his way through the field after taking an extra lap before the green flag dropped. Checkered flag is out for the 179 of Jason Mackey. Second place is lost to ski. Well, just use your foot. Why not? I wonder where you find a ski for a sled that old. Can't go to your local dealer, I wouldn't imagine. Colin Demianic out of Winnipeg got a 70 Skidoo, unofficially second on one ski. Pretty impressive. Wonder if it rusted off. Those sleds are old enough. All right, so race 7 coming up, and we are going to move to two wheels now. This stuff is pretty cool. These riders will hit speeds of about 80 miles an hour on these dirt bikes. And we've got a bib change. The number 11 is going to be Hunter Brink out of Kakabeka Falls, Ontario. Riding the number 14, Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg. This is a 2022 Kawasaki. On the number 71, female competitor Amy Hood out of Beausejour, Manitoba. The 117 is Colton Korolavich out of Beausejour. And Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour will ride the number 418. That is a 2014 Kawasaki. So ice bikes coming up next. Amy Hood, the daughter of three-time Canadian champion, motocross champion Kim Hood. He also won the over 50 nationals at Glen Helen. I don't see him on the roster here today, but Amy Hood will ride. Also an accomplished rider in her own right. Also a former Monster Jam driver. Those bikes are awful tall. You can see Amy Hood with the blocks. Just used for starting purposes, of course. But she knows how to ride. Battling with the 117. 117 is Colton Korolavich. I believe that's Rondeau on the outside on the number 14. Super great watching sled racing all day, but this is always a welcome addition to the program. The two-wheelers on the track, the ice bikes for a total of 5 laps. That is Rondeau, followed by the 117 and the 71. Those are your top 3. Side-by-side racing for 3rd and 4th spot. Today's event brought to you by Wet Distribution. And, of course, MacDon along with FXR. Ticking the laps off quickly. 81 miles an hour on the last lap for your race leader, who is getting it done. Amy Hood on the 71 has dropped to the 4th spot. Flag being displayed this time around for your race leader. Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg, a 2022 Kawasaki. Second, Colton Korolavich out of Beausejour. That is a 2009 Yamaha two-wheeler. Brady Sinclair is on the 418 out of Beausejour. That is a 14 Kawasaki. Checkered flag, Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg on the 2022 Kawasaki takes the win. Colton Korolavich out of Beausejour second. Third, the 11 is Hunter Brink. 71, Amy Hood in 4th unofficially. And rounding out the field, the number 418 of Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour. That will do it for 5 laps. And race 7, the Ice Bike Open class. Of course, you have to use a motocross-style motorcycle in that class, up to 550cc single-cylinder engine. Naturally aspirated only. We'll be back momentarily with the ATV Open. All right, ATV open for 4 laps. Now you can use up to a 1200cc engine in this class, either 1 or 2 cylinders. They have to be naturally aspirated, and no nitrous is allowed. The 34 is Mark Sexton. With the whole shot, in fact, the 811 is Ryan Adrian out of Lac du Bonnet. Riding the 25 is Corey Johnson from Oakbank. And the 18 is Tyler Feeblecorn from Beausejour. 2008 KTM mounted rider. Racing out of turn 4. This one's scheduled for 4 laps. Racing down the front straightaway. .811 is your leader. That is Ryan Adrian leading Mark Sexton on the number 34. Ryan Adrian, 74 miles per hour on the last pass on his 2008 KTM. That is a nice looking machine. White flag, 3 down, 1 to go here. Sexton on the 34 is second. Your leader working turn 3 and 4 already. And that'll do it. 811 Ryan Adrian unofficially your winner in the 4-lap ATV Open Heat race out of Lac du Bonnet. Sexton coming home in the second spot. Mark Sexton out of Lorette West, Manitoba, riding a 2015 KTM in the ATV Open class. Well, that'll do it for a moment as we come out with a Quebex grooming break here at the CPTC grounds. Grab yourself something hot to eat or hot to drink over at the concession area, and we will be back with more racing. Race 9, which is going to move. Pro Champs will be the first race up after intermission. We'll be back with you momentarily for Wet Distribution and Sales, MacDon, and FXR. All right, swapping races here after intermission. We're moving to race 10, which will actually be race 9. Pro Champ 440s. This is round 2. And I believe everybody is going to start this one. Of course, in the first segment of the morning here, we ran 2 different heats of Pro Champ 440s, part of the USSA Pro Star Cup. However, we are going to bring them all out, I believe, and get racing. So scheduled to start in this one, the 102 is Blaine Stevenson, riding for Wall Brothers. He is out of Stevenson, Minnesota on a 2022 Polaris. The 26 is Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour in his first weekend on a Pro Champ 440 sled. The 87, the first female to compete in the Pro Champ division. Madison Phillips is out of Drayton, North Dakota on a 2020 Wall chassis. The 370 is Matt Zelaya out of Garson, also competing in his first Pro Champ event. Gunnar Stern, no introduction needed for him. The 220 of Gunnar Stern, located in West Chicago, Illinois. The Red Bull Skidoo, multi-time champion. Calvin Cook is on the 75, and Travis McDonald out of Goner, Manitoba on the Skidoo XPS number 8. Great start for Gunnar Stern. Travis McDonald on the outside, currently running third, and now Travis McDonald up to the second spot. Your leader currently, the number check. Oh, we're good. Okay, 220. Gunnar Stern in a great big hurry. Looks like that could be Quinn Whitechuck on the back straightaway, slowing quickly and now stopped. Blaine Stevenson is on the 1-0. Oh, we got a crash bad on the front straightaway. The rider is on his feet. How about that? Or is that the 87? Trying to see the bib number. Believe that could be Madison Phillips. No. We will try to get a number on that sled. It is buried in the hay bales on the front straightaway. Wow, that was a quick one. That happened fast on the front straightaway. All right, that is Madison Phillips out of Drayton, North Dakota on the 2020 Wall Brothers Johnson chassis. A rough ride, but fortunately, Madison Phillips, the first female to compete here in Beausejour in the Pro Champ 440 class, is okay. How about a hand for her? Nice work. That is a tough class, I'll tell you. Great driver, Madison Phillips, parked on the front chute. This one's scheduled for 7 laps. This race 10 has become race number 9 on your schedule. Boot came off of Madison Phillips. Those sleds are moving along fast. Of course, the temperature is a little more favorable to crashing today. Obviously, when it's 40 below, those hay bales become like ice cubes, so you never want to see it crash, but generally it's a little bit better off when it's warmer. See on the cooldown.tv video feed, the 87 being loaded onto the recovery sled. Madison Phillips looking on the 87. We'll take the ride back on that recovery sled and see if they can get that particular Wall Brothers chassis back on the racetrack here today or this weekend. Tomorrow, of course, the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. Today is our USSA Pro Star Cup final. That will be coming up, race number 34 on the day. Earlier, it looked like the 26 of Quinn Whitechuck, also in his first weekend on a Pro Champ 440 sled, stopped on the back chute. So we will see who is going to rejoin this field. Race 9, the Pro Champ 440 class, round 2 for 7 laps. Attention to the pit area. Coming up next is race number 9 on the schedule, Junior 2 Sprint 600s for 14 to 17-year-olds. So if you're in that class, you need to be in staging. Then we'll go with race 11 on your schedule, the IFS 440X Jerry Bunkey Cup Race. Well, it looks like Calvin Cook out of Dayton, Minnesota is headed down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4, as is the rest of the field. So that indicates we will be restarting momentarily here in your Pro Champ 440 round 2 race. All brought to you, of course, by Wet Distribution and Sales, FXR Racing, and MacDon. We'd also like to thank the RM of Broken Head and the town of Beausejour for all their generous support. All right, G-Money Gunner Stern on the 220 will restart first here. Travis McDonald out of Goner, Manitoba in the second spot on the Skidoo sponsored entry. Reigning CPTC champion Blaine Stevenson jumps. And that will move them around on the starting line. So we will try this one more time. Pro Champ 440s on the racetrack. Next up, Junior 2 Sprint 600s. All right, once again, the 220 to the point position. McDonald. Stevenson getting ready to go here. Matt Zalai is out of Garson on the 212 Demon Racing chassis. Good start for G-Money, the Red Bull Skidoo Gunner Stern. Racing out of turn 4 now and down the front straightaway. Blaine Stevenson finding some speed. He pulls up alongside Travis McDonald out of Goner, Manitoba. That is the best race in the place now for second and third. Into turn 3 they go. Stevenson on the outside. McDonald inside. What a great race. Stevenson now into the second spot and looking at the taillight of G-Money Gunner Stern. Can Stevenson close the gap? Travis McDonald and Zalai with problems. Drop 2 there quickly. Gunner Stern now looking at a clear track, but Blaine Stevenson trying to become the number 1 runner here. White flag coming out this time. Gunner Stern in a great big hurry. Blaine Stevenson in pursuit, but unable to catch up on the Wall Brothers entry. Gunner Stern on the number 220 out of West Chicago, Illinois. Looking at our flagman Riley, who has the checkered in hand, and it's going to go to Gunner Stern, followed by Blaine Stevenson on the 102. Those will be your top 2 unofficially in round 2 of the Pro Champ 440 class. Calvin Cook on the Cook Motorsports 75 out of Dayton, Minnesota. That is a 2022 Wall chassis, unofficially third. Matt Zalai parked on the back chute. They will need our recovery crew. Matt Zalai is out of Garson, Manitoba, riding a 2012 Demon. Travis McDonald made an early departure as well, as he did in round 1, so they are having some sled trouble over there. They will try, of course, to get it running for our next rounds in the Pro Champ 440 class leading up to our Pro Star Cup happening here today. Attention in the pit area. Next race will be the Junior 2 Sprint 600s for 14 to 17-year-olds. That will be 3 laps. Then we'll go to the Jerry Bunkey Cup qualifier. That is for IFS 440X sleds. Looking like Matt Zalai getting a hand. Garson, Manitoba native, heading back to the pin area. As we get set to go with more racing action here. Tomorrow, of course, the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. Don't forget, you can log on to our website at cptcracing.com. Keep up with the entire season. Of course, we're back in March for the 60th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. Looks like a total of 3 competitors here in the Junior 2 Sprint 600 class. Dale Hunter on the 13, Hunter Johnson riding the number 59, and the 60 is Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve, and it looks like all 3 riders are going to make it here. Race number 9 on your schedule is actually race number 10 as a result of the swap with the Pro Champ 440s. Good start for the number 59 of Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota. Hunter Johnson on a 2020 Johnson Racing chassis, showing the way here. This race scheduled for just 3 laps. Tension in the pit area. Next up will be your IFS 440X class, then the Sport Formula 500s, then the Supermod 440s. That'll be your Saturday final, followed by Pro Formula 3. Well, not much question about that one. The 5900 Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota, taking the win on the Johnson Racing chassis. Dale Hunter's on the 13 out of Thamesford, Ontario, 98 Wall Brothers chassis. And rounding out that field, the 60 was Braxton Cassidy out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba, aboard a 1999 Polaris. All right, Jerry Bunkey Cup qualifier, IFS 440X class. This is the Premier Vintage class at CPTC coming up. And you're only allowed a 1982 or older IFS single track limited production OEM racing snowmobile. That is it. Pretty cut and dried rules in the IFS X class. All right, a total of 4 riders scheduled for your IFS 440X class, Jerry Bunkey Cup. 370 is Matt Zalai out of Garson, Manitoba, a 78 moto ski mounted rider. On a 79 Skidoo is going to be Norm Chura out of Enola. Number 80 is Joe Presta from Beausejour, and the 21 is Tyler Obi, also out of Beausejour. Joe Presta, formerly of Ontario, now living in Beausejour, Manitoba. Should be the 370, the 65, the 80 of Joe Presta, and the 21 of Tyler Obi out of Beausejour. Part of the Jerry Bunkey Cup. Good racing here in your Jerry Bunkey Cup qualifier. That final race will run tomorrow, part of our 59th Canadian Power Toboggan Championship. Look at this race up front. Wow. Joe Presta battling with Norm Chura. All four of those sleds very close on the racetrack. And they are moving along quick. Wow. Joe Presta on the number 80. The 21 is Tyler Obi out of Beausejour, Manitoba, aboard the 1979 Skidoo as they head on down the back straightaway into turn number 3. There is some speed out here. What's the matter? Third spot, Matt Zalai. Rider slowing down the back straightaway. Your leaders out of turn number 4 now. The winner is going to be the 80 of Joe Presta. Looks like Tyler Obi, the rider with problems on the number 21, over in turn 3 and 4 now. Tyler Obi out of Beausejour with a good run for most of that race, but obviously mechanical troubles on that particular entry out of Beausejour, Manitoba. And there he is taking the checkered flag, but not in the first spot. Obi was running second for quite a while, but was unable to continue, unfortunately. But a good run for Joe Presta out of Beausejour on the 79 Skidoo, number 80, showing some speed from start to finish in race 11, your IFS 440X Jerry Bunkey Cup. Next up should be the Sport Formula 500s, and we will bring you that lineup here momentarily. Well, the Jerry Bunkey Memorial Challenge heat race just concluding. Jerry Bunkey was a member of the famed Polaris Midnight Blue Express race team that competed in the Snow Pro circuit of the late 1970s. He tragically lost his life in a racing accident in Beausejour in 1978. So that race created to honor the dedication, perseverance, and professionalism that Jerry displayed throughout his career. That will run tomorrow. The Jerry Bunkey Memorial Challenge in the IFS 440X class. Winner last year was Russ Liba of Warburg, Alberta. Well, we want to do a big shout out to Danae. We're missing you here today. As we get set to go here in your Sport Formula 500 class. 5 laps is the distance. The 685 is going to be Tanner Davey out of Badger, Minnesota. Riding the 446 is Mike Shackelford. He is from Oakville. The 9 is Stefan Carrigan from Winnipeg. The 223 is Adam Braun, and Dale Hunter out of Ontario is on the 13 on the outside. Oh, heads up. Rider down at the exit of turn number 2, and that rider slowly trying to get to their feet. I just caught the tail end of that one, but I heard the reaction in the crowd. So obviously you can see the bales have moved. So pretty tough looking crash over at the exit of turn 2 on the outside. What did he do on his own? Well, it looks like the rider is okay and on his feet. So that is good news. Tough sport, this ice oval racing. No question about that. Cooldown.tv instant replay coming up for those of you watching at home or in your shop. See the riders heading through. Oh, boy, a bit of a high side. And, well, here comes the crash. Nowhere to go. That is tough. Doesn't look like there was any collision. Just started getting a bit out of control, and that was it for that rider. All right, so coming up after this race, attention in the pit area. Race 13 on the schedule will be the Supermod 440 class. Then we'll move to the Pro Formula 3 race with 3 competitors. That'll be a good one. Travis McDonald, Gunnar Stern, and Blaine Stevenson in the Pro Formula 3 race. Race 14 on the schedule. Race 15 will be the Supermod 300 final. And then we'll go to the ATV Open for 4 laps. Just a reminder to all the trackside parkers to please leave your headlights off throughout the day so we do not blind any drivers. Track crew going to work to replace the bales. They do work hard. We do appreciate all the volunteers' hard work here at CPTC. Over 4,000 bales located throughout the facility. If you look over the top of the scene of the accident, you'll see the mini sleds going. Future stars of CPTC, ages 4 to 14, doing a little racing on the small ice oval. Many thanks to our sponsors, including FXR, Wet Distribution and Sales, and MacDon. All part of our Pro Star Cup weekend and the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships.
You say that so well.
Don't forget, we're tuned into 88.5 FM, so if you have a trackside radio, you can listen to 88.5 FM throughout the weekend. Well, looking like our track crew has most of the bales replaced. I'll just snug up that orange snow fence and get set to go once again here. Racing in the Sport Formula 500 class. Race 12 on your schedule if you're just joining us. Seen 3 heat races of the Pro Champs. They ran a couple in the first part of the program. 1 in the second part of the program. That's where we are right now. That was race 9. And we are now at race 12 in the Sport Formula 500 class. Sport Formula 500 is our entry-level ice oval class. Has to be an 89 to 92 Polaris Indy 500 or 89 to 92 Polaris Indy 400 with carburetors. I said carburetors. Like I'm from Boston. Carburetors, man. That's what life's all about. That's Paul Williams. All right, riders over in turn 4 getting set to go. Coming to our flagman, Riley on the front straightaway. That's a tough job when it's minus 40. Fortunately, today it is not. Okay, we're going to try this one again. Tanner Davey is out of Badger, Minnesota on a 90 Polaris. He will start inside. All right, everybody seems good to go. 4 riders remaining, including the 223 of Adam Braun outside. The long way around. Good start for the 685 of Tanner Davey. Mike Shackelford, though, battling instantly off the starting line. Mike Shackelford is out of Oakville, Manitoba on a 1990 Polaris. Mike Shackelford looking good. Side by side in turn number 1 and 2 for second and third spot. Stefan Kerrigan is on the number 9. Rider out of Winnipeg, a 1991 Skidoo. This one scheduled for 5 laps. Shackelford on the 446, Kerrigan on the number 9, first and second on the racetrack here in your Sport Formula 500 race. Number 9 trying the outside of the back straightaway now. Into turn 3 they go. Mike Shackelford out of Oakville holding on to the lead currently. The number 9 of Stefan Kerrigan trying to change that. Tanner Davey on the 685 third. Adam Braun is on the 223, and he is fourth. 78 miles per hour on the previous circuit. That is according to our radar gun. White flag is out. 1 to go here in the Sport Formula 500 class. Mike Shackelford on the 446 having a strong run, as is the number 9 of Stefan Kerrigan out of Winnipeg. Shackelford, Kerrigan, and the 685 Tanner Davey in the top 3. 223 of Adam Braun, fourth unofficially. In race 12, the Sport Formula 500 class. 5 laps is done, and the checkered flag is out. You're right. What do we got? Supermod 440s, yeah. Supermod 440s up next on the schedule. Riding the 179 is Jason Mackey out of Lanigan, Saskatchewan. The 44 is out of West St. Paul, Manitoba. This is a 73 Polaris ridden by Vic Mazer. Aboard the number 65 is Norm Chura. Norm is from Enola, Manitoba on a 73 Polaris. And on a similar machine, a 73 Polaris, the number 35 is Dylan Barron from Enola. And rounding out the field, the 15 is Mark Luco. Mark is out of Oakbank, Manitoba, also on a 73 Polaris. So 4 of the 5 are 73 Polarises. Jason Mackey on the lone Yamaha. Supermod 440s. You can use any 1985 or older stock qualified leaf spring model. Modifications are allowed, of course, and you can see them. Those are definitely not stock sleds. Great start for the number 65 of Norm Chura. Norm is out of Enola, Manitoba on the 73 Polaris. Vic Mazer on the 44 is out of West St. Paul. Side by side for third and fourth place down the back straightaway. This is the final for the Supermod 440s, and this one is scheduled for 5 laps. Chura and Mazer so far 1 and 2. Rider in the bales in turn number 2. There's the brake right behind the pillar. All right. So that will bring a stoppage in play. All right, attention in the pit area. Race 14 on the schedule will be the Pro Formula 3 for 5 laps. Then we move to the Super Mod 300 final. Then the ATV Open class for 4 laps. Those will be the next 3 races before a Quebex intermission grooming break. Safety crews working in turn number 2. The rest of the riders collected in turn number 4, getting ready to restart this one. Jason Mackey on the 179 is out of Lanigan, Saskatchewan. 44 Vic Mazer is out of West St. Paul. 65 Norm Chura. 35 Dylan Barron on a 73 Polaris, and Mark Luco round out this field in this particular race. Total of 5 scheduled to start. And we were just getting the mess cleaned up in turn number 1 and 2.
She ain't pretty, she just looks that way.
All right, 65 of Norm Chura wasting no time coming to the line. Norm Chura out of Anola on a 73 Polaris. There is Vic Mazer out of West St. Paul, also on a 73 Polaris. They will line up as they were on the racetrack before the crash in turn number 2. Mark Luco on a 73 Polaris. 3 remaining sleds. Here we go, another good start for the 65 of Norm Chura out of Anola. Norm Chura on the number 65, heading down into turn number 3 and 4. Vic Mazer on the 44 from West St. Paul. Currently running second. And a distant third is the number 15. That is Mark Luco out of Oakbank. But it is all Norm Chura out of Anola now on that number 65. Looking good. 73 Polaris showing the way. In front of 2 other 73 Polarises. 78 miles per hour for your race leader on the previous lap. Wow, that's pretty quick. White flag coming out this time around, 1 to go. Norm Chura working that 73 Polaris through turns 3 and 4. Riley with the checkered flag. And that'll do it. The number 65, Norm Chura, will take the win. Vic Mazer out of West St. Paul, second unofficially here in race number 13 on your schedule for the Supermod 440s. Mark Luco on the 15 will finish third. Pro Formula 3 coming up next. Just 3 competitors in this one for 5 laps. Travis McDonald on the 8 out of Goner, Manitoba. The 220 is G-Money Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, who has been dominating the Pro Champ class here today. And the 102, Blaine Stevenson from St. Cloud, Minnesota on the Polaris, sponsored by Wall Brothers. And here we go. Your Pro Formula 3 class. Now, if you're wondering about these particular sleds, well, they are a snowcross based chassis and engine. 600cc has to be stock, minimum weight 450 pounds. No modifications are allowed except for the front and the rear suspension, obviously for the ice oval circuit. Snowmobile must be a 2018 or newer. Stevenson and Gunnar Stern get out front early. This is your Pro Formula 3 class. 5 laps is the distance. Blaine Stevenson, the Wall Brothers Racing, number 102, is your current leader. Second spot, Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois. As they head into turn number 1 and 2 now. You could pretty much put a blanket over them. They are close on the racetrack. Travis McDonald did not get the start he would have liked, but has since picked up the pace. Great racing for second and third spot as Travis McDonald, the Skidoo mounted rider, making things interesting here. A little bit of slip in the number 1 spot coming out of turn 4. That's Stevenson. Yeah. Great 3-sled race for first place as the white flag will be displayed this time around. Blaine Stevenson on the 102, sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing. Showing the way with Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois in the second spot. Travis McDonald, third out of Goner, Manitoba. 2017 Valcourt champion in the Pro Champ class. Checkered flag, Stevenson, Stern, and McDonald, 1, 2, 3. That'll do it for race 14 on your schedule. That, of course, the Pro Formula 3 5-lap race now in the history books. Attention in the pit area. Next up, Supermod 300 final, then ATV Open, and we'll bring you that lineup momentarily. All right, here's your lineup in the Supermod 300. This is the final for 5 laps. Number 13 is Kieran Lowen out of Altona. This is a 1975 Yamaha. Riding the 135 out of Grand Point, a 78 Polaris, is Blair McDonald. Vic Mazer will make an appearance on the number 44 out of West St. Paul. The 95 is from Murillo, Ontario. This is a 75 Arctic Cat ridden by Jerry LePage. The number 15 is Mark Luco out of Oakbank, and the 35, Dylan Barron from Enola, Manitoba. That is a 73 Polaris. Dylan Barron on the 35 out of Enola, starting on the outside of race 15, the Supermod 300 class. Supermods limited to 85 or older stock qualified leaf spring sleds. Modifications are allowed. Dylan Barron a scratch on the number 35, we understand. He was scheduled to start outside of the first row. Vic Mazer pulling into the grid. West St. Paul mounted rider on a 73 Polaris. We're getting ready to go racing now. Supermod final, 5 laps. And we got a couple of jumpers, well, one for sure, the number 15 of Mark Luco out of Oakbank, a little bit quick off the starting line. And that will earn him a trip to the back here. The second row or the back. Looks like the 95 having problems down there. That will be Jerry LePage out of Murillo, Ontario, as he takes the sled off. Whoop. Our flagman will assist in that operation. Tough break for the 95 of Jerry LePage. That is a 1975 Arctic Cat. The number 15 with a heck of a start, but here comes the 44 of Vic Mazer. 15 of Mark Luco jumped, had to start in row 2. Had a real good start off the green flag. And battling with Vic Mazer out of West St. Paul on the number 44. The 95 looks like it will be done for the balance of the Supermod 300 final. It's close down the front straightaway. 44, the 15, and the 13. Kieran Lowen aboard the number 13 out of Altona, Manitoba. That is a 1975 Yamaha. A great 3-sled race down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Supermod 300s on the racetrack right now. Vic Mazer leads, followed by Mark Luco out of Oakbank. Pair of 73 Polarises in command. Kieran Lowen not going away, however. Blair McDonald at a Grand Point on the 135 off the pace in turn number 1. Tough to catch that number 44, but the 13 is working on it. Kieran Lowen out of Altona trying to move up to the second spot and has done so. White flag coming out this time around in race 15. Your Supermod 300 final. 1 to go for the number 44 of Vic Mazer. Next up, ATV Open for 4 laps. Checkered flag is out for the number 44 of Vic Mazer, and I wonder if he's going to be the only one to finish this one. We got sleds all over the place, just not at the finish line.
What's that guy over in 4?
He's not moving. Well, very slowly.
I wonder what's going on there. 95 up on the recovery sled. Mark Luco will finish. Barely. So I guess by default, Mark Luco will take second. As the number 95 of Jerry LePage out of Murillo, Ontario, heads back to the pit area. Tough break. Mark Luco out of Oakbank throwing up his hands. Not sure what is wrong with the machine, but they'll get that one back to the pit area and checked out, I'm sure. Should be Kieran Lowen off to the inside of the front straightaway. Kieran Lowen is out of Altona, Manitoba on a 1975 Yamaha. So more sleds on the racetrack than we have recovery sleds. So we will take a minute out and get everybody back to the pit area before we're going to our ATV Open for 4 laps. That'll be the last race before another Quebec's grooming intermission break. Don't forget, great food available at the concession area here if you want something hot to eat or hot to drink. Our CPTC concession area has it. And don't forget, Christmas is coming, and we have a brand new line of CPTC promo wear, and that is available in the beer garden. Do check it out. CPTC promo wear makes great Christmas gifts for those in your family and friends, so check them all out at the beer garden. All right, and here comes the ATV Open class for 4 laps. Riding the 811 is Ryan Adrian out of Lac du Bonnie. That is a KTM. The 25 is Corey Johnson out of Oakbank. The 18 is Tyler Feeblecorn from Beausejour. And the 34 is Mark Sexton out of Lorette, West Manitoba. Mark is on a 2015 Can-Am. And he might not be coming out. Mark Sexton on the 34. I only see 3. So we are down 1 apparently. Looks like Sexton is scratched from this one. We doing a head start here or what? Ryan Adrian is on the 811. And in the second spot already. Like a shot. Now I know why he waited a little longer. He probably could have started in Winnipeg and won this race. We've got a ATV stopped in turn 4. Sort of in the race line, maybe not. Oh, it's still moving. We're okay. Green flag remains out here in your 4-lap ATV Open. Ryan Adrian on the 8-11, showing the way, white flag. Or is that 8-11? On his bib, okay, not on his quad or his ATV, okay. Little hard reading the numbers on these particular machines from up here. Especially when they're over a quarter of a mile away at sometimes. And that'll do it for your ATV Open. Checkered flag is out. The number 8-11, Ryan Adrian of Lactabani, takes that one easily on his 2008 KTM. All right, it is now time for a Cubex intermission break. We'll groom the track and get back with you. Don't forget, CPTC promo wear available in the beer garden and in the concession area. Hot food, hot drinks. Do check it out. That food is great. We'll be back with you momentarily here at the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. All right, coming up next, your Pro Champ 440 race, round 3. We have some scratches, the 370 of Matt Zalai, the 87 of Madison Phillips out of Drayton, and the 8 of Travis McDonald, the local boy out of Goner, Manitoba, on the Skidoo is a scratch. So that leaves the 102 of Blaine Stevenson out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, the 220 of Gunnar Stern, the 75 of Calvin Cook out of Dayton, Minnesota, and the 26 apparently will make an appearance. That is Quinn Whitechuck in his first weekend of Pro Champ 440 racing. Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour on a 2019 Arctic Cat. So 7 racers scheduled. Just 4 will make it for this round 3 in the Pro Champ 440 race. On your race schedule, this is race number 18 for those of you in the grandstands. For those of you logged into cooldown.tv, we want to thank you for subscribing for the day. Don't forget we're back tomorrow right here at 10:30 for the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships, and it is going to be a great day here. Pro Champ 440 racing set to come your way. Stevenson and the 220 of Gunnar Stern side by side into turn number 1 and 2. Stevenson with the early lead. Nice job by Blaine Stevenson on the 102, getting a great start on G-Money Gunnar Stern on the Red Bull Skidoo. Gunnar Stern strong out of turn number 2, pulling up on the outside. Will he have enough into turn number 3? Stevenson preferring the inside of the racetrack. Stern seems to be pretty quick around the longer outside portion of the track. Oh no, tough break for the 102. The 102 of Blaine Stevenson out of St. Cloud, Minnesota is stopping on the back straightaway. What a tough break after a great hole shot in this round 3 race. Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois, riding the Red Bull Skidoo, showing the way. He is a 3-time CPTC champion and a 2-time USSA champion aboard that 2020 Red Bull Skidoo, also sponsored by Woody's Traction Products and Tub of Towels. Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour in his first weekend of Pro Champ 440 racing. Aboard the 2019 Arctic Cat, gaining some valuable experience here. Doing a pretty nice job against the veteran Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois. Whitechuck a little off the pace, but not bad for his first weekend. White flag out for your leader. Checkered flag is on the front straightaway, and it's going to go to the Red Bull Skidoo out of Chicago, Illinois. Number 20, Gunnar Stern. Quinn Whitechuck unofficially second out of Beausejour on his 2019 Arctic Cat. And Calvin Cook out of Dayton, Minnesota on the number 75. That is a 2022 wall chassis. He will come home in the 3rd spot. Tough break for the 102 of Blaine Stevenson. The day has been rough on the Pro Champ 440 class. We had 3 scratches in that one, so hopefully many of them will be back. 7 in the pit area here today. Blaine Stevenson now getting some assistance on the back straightaway. Hopefully Blaine will be able to return. He is the reigning CPTC champion on the 2020 Wall Brothers Racing Polaris, and a 4-time world champion to boot. So they will take that sled back to the pit area and give it some much-needed attention and try to get it back for the final here today, your USSA Pro Star Cup Tour Series race.
No, it's too slippery. It keeps sliding. They're pushing it.
Looks like they're having trouble getting traction on the tow sled or the tow snowmobile. Blaine Stevenson lending a hand on the 102. Right, Blaine Stevenson back to the pit area as we get set to go with our next race here at CPTC. This should be race 19 on your schedule. SS 340 free air, 340 liquid, and 440 fan final. 5 laps will be the distance here. Out of Tisdale, Saskatchewan, leading off, the 78 Polaris is the 999 of Joel Reed. Riding the number 15 from Mackinac, North Dakota, this is a 76 Mercury. The rider is Sheldon Carlson. On the number 65, this is Norm Chura out of Enola. Riding the 509 is Albert Ratty from Prince Albert. That is the 75 Mercury. Aboard the number 43 is Scott McHarg out of Prince Albert. The 23 is Will Manchelenko. Will is from St. Malo, Manitoba, and riding a 1980 Skidoo. The number 14 is Alex Manchelenko out of Dufrost, Manitoba. This is a 79 Motoski. And aboard a 1977 Arctic Cat, the number 20 is Bryce Olson. Bryce is from Tisdale, Saskatchewan. And rounding out the field is the number 12, Alex Braun, out of Altona, Manitoba. This is a 1980 John Deere. Nice looking sled on the outside. Alex Braun on the number 12. Getting set to go as Riley looks them over. 5 laps is the distance. And here we go. Lots of traffic in turn number 1 and 2. Albert Ratty had a pretty good start on the 509. As they string out a little bit now on the back straightaway. Position changes going on into turn number 3 and 4. This is race number 19 on your schedule. Albert Ratty on the 509 is out of Prince Albert. 1975 Mercury looking good up front. Number 23 in the second spot, Will Manchelenko. Yellow flag being displayed in turn number 1 and 2 now. That is precautionary, of course, for the rider stopped at the top of turn number 2. Leaders coming down the front chute. Not much changing in the top 2. Those riders are gone. The 43 is third. That is Scott McHarg out of Prince Albert. That is a 76 Yamaha. Scott McHarg is aboard. Scott McHarg out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. The 509 and the 23, your race leaders coming by to take the white flag. 1 to go. Alex Manchelenko is on the number 14. Four laps down. 1 remaining here in race number 19 on your schedule. Checkered flag is out. Your winner is the 509 of Albert Ratty. Will Manchelenko in the number 23, second from St. Malo. The 43 is Scott McHarg from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan on the 1976 Yamaha, unofficially coming home in the third spot. The John Deere crosses as well. That's Alex Braun out of Altona, Manitoba. 1980 John Deere finishes up at the checkered flag in race number 19. Here's your next couple of races. Attention in the pit area. Race 20 will be the Sport Formula 500 class for 5 laps. Race 21, Pro Lights, 5 laps. Race 22 will be the Sportsman 600s for 5 laps. So if you are in those classes, we ask that you please work your way to the staging area immediately. All right, here we go. Race 20, Sport Formula 500, 5 laps. Ike Shackelford is on the 446. Dale Hunter on the 13. The 223 is Adam Braun. The 685 is Tanner Davey out of Badger, Minnesota. And the 9 is Stefan Carignan. Looks like a bit of a bobble from Stephen Carignan in turn 2. Looks like he is now running third into turn number 3. Race 20 on the track. Well over halfway in our program today now. 446 and the 9 lead it. Shackelford up front. Mike Shackelford on the 446 out of Oakville, Manitoba, riding a 1990 Polaris. Stefan Carignan on the number 9 at 79 miles per hour on the previous lap. But right now it is all Mike Shackelford out of Oakville. Stefan Carignan is not giving up on the number 1 spot as he pursues the leader, Mike Shackelford out of Oakville, Manitoba. That is the battle for the number 1 and 2 spots here as they head on down the front straightaway. Tanner Davey up in third now to join the party and looking for a mistake on the part of positions 1 and 2 on the racetrack. White flag, 1 to go. Keep your eyes on the number 9 in the second spot. Challenging the leader, Mike Shackelford, here on the final lap. Tanner Davey out of Badger, Minnesota on the 685 is third. It is anybody's race now as they hit in through turn 3 and 4 on the final lap. Look at that. Unofficially, your winner is the 9. Stefan Carignan does a great job picking the pocket of Mike Shackelford on the final turn. So unofficially, Stefan Carignan out of Winnipeg takes the win on the 91 Skidoo over the 446 of Mike Shackelford out of Oakville, Manitoba on the 1990 Polaris. What a race that was. One of the most competitive of the day, and that was race 20, the Sport Formula 500 race.
26. Intermission.
All right, we've just been handed the lineup for race 34, which will be your Pro Champ 440 Pro Star Cup final. And we'll get to that in just a little bit, but first we have some more races to run. Pro Lights coming up, yes. Next up, race 21. Your Pro Lights, 5 laps will be the distance. Brad Harrison will be on the number 29. He is from Enola, Manitoba, riding a 2014 wall chassis. Aboard the 87 is Madison Phillips out of Drayton, North Dakota, 2020 Wall Brothers Johnson chassis. The 26 is Quinn Whitechuck, out of Beausejour, 2019 Arctic Cat. And Sam Glure is out of Whitemouth, Manitoba, riding a 212 wall. Sam Glure is out on the number 91 for race 21 in the Pro Lights. Okay, here we go. Have 4 scheduled to start. We had Madison Phillips out of Drayton in this one on the number 87. She appears to have not made this particular race. Quinn Whitechuck last off the line on the number 26, sponsored by Funk's Toyota. Quinn Whitechuck, of course, on the number 26, competing in the Pro Champ class for the first time ever this weekend. Brad Harrison is aboard the number 29, showing the way out of Enola, Manitoba. 2014 wall chassis here in race 21. The Pro Lights, 5 laps will be the distance here. Good racing up front. The Funk's Toyota number 26 of Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour, second. That is a 2019 Arctic Cat in the second spot. Sam Gluer on the number 91 out of Whitemouth, Manitoba, a 2012 Wall Brothers Racing chassis. $93 miles per hour on the previous lap. Whoa, take a look at that. What a great pass. In turn 3 and 4, wow, white flank is out, and here we go. We're racing. Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour sneaks up on the 29 of Brad Harrison and robs him. Look at this battle to the finish line. This is the final 2 corners before the checkered flag. Quinn Whitechuck, the Funk's Toyota number 26. Will take the win on the Arctic Cat. Nice job by Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour. A heck of a last lap pass there. Wow. That was your Pro Lights race 21, now in the history books. Next up, Sportsman 600 race 22 on your schedule. This one will go for 5 laps. Line up shortly. Couple of scratches coming up here for you in race 22, the Sportsman 600 class scratch, the 23 of Will Manchelenko, and the 116 of John Zielinski out of Winnipeg. Who is racing? Well, the number 16, DJ Saluk out of Beausejour, the 33R of Will Resenbrink, the 15 of Kyle Omachinski out of Beausejour will make the line, as will the 13 of Jonathan Hall, who also shares the same hometown. John Zielinski and Will Manchelenko unable to make the line here for race 22 in the Sportsman 600s. Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota, riding a 1994 and a half Polaris. That's seriously what it says. Must have been just slightly quicker than the 94 model, I'm guessing. Green flag being displayed. DJ Saluk is on the number 16. And currently running second in the Sportsman 600 class.
I got hours.
Yep. Almost there now. Not much changing in the top 2. Third is the number 15, Kyle Omachinski out of Beausejour. 13 is John Hall. Jonathan Hall out of Beausejour aboard a 1996 Skidoo We are 4 laps now into the Sportsman 600 class. These are 1983 to 2000 production Arctic Cat, Skidoo, Yamaha, and Polaris snowmobiles. They have 600cc engine volume. No chassis modifications allowed. Limited engine modifications are allowed. Nice run for Will Resenbrink. Second spot goes to the 16 of Saluk. Third to Omachinsky out of Beausejour. 2000 Polaris coming home unofficially third. John Hall finishes up as well out of Beausejour on his 96 Skidoo. 13 of John Hall coming home fourth unofficially in race 22, the Sportsman 600 class. Wow, and I thought you're just a video genius, Anthony. Wow. So there is a 1994 and a half Polaris. XCR? Wow, okay. Well, anytime I have a question, I won't ask my wife anymore. I'll ask you because you seem to have it dialed in. All the answers, that's right. Can you tell my wife that? Sure you could. Here's your SS 250, 300, and 340 fan final. The 15 is Sheldon Carlson. The 94 is Brian Kep. The 14 is Jared Koopman out of Jansen, Saskatchewan. Riding the 866 is Doug Bedall. He's out of Anola, Manitoba on a 79 Yamaha. The 509, we saw him just earlier. The 509 is Albert Ratty from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And the 135 is Blair McDonald from Grand Point, Manitoba, aboard a 1978 Polaris. SS 250, 300, and 340 fan final. Not quite the pace of the Pro Champ 440s, but still pretty quick when you're down there on that sled. We've got a red flag being displayed. Where do you see? On the inside or off the bales? You mean, like
No, he's inside the track. He just stopped. On the inside of...
All right, we do have a sled stopped on the inside of the front chute.
Actually, there's two.
There are two, you're right. Okay, so 2 sleds stopped, so red flag out. The 509, Albert Ratty out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, riding a good-looking John Deere sled. He will bring that one back to the start line so we can get going once again on race 23. Superstock 250, 300, and 340 fan final. Like that 76 Mercury, that is the number 15 of Sheldon Carlson out of Mackinac, North Dakota. Nicely prepared machine. Blair McDonald on the 135, heading the wrong way down the front straightaway, going to get turned around and come back to the start-finish line.
We're using the wrong radio, Bruce.
All right, more information on that 1994 and a half XCR. They only made 500 of them, apparently, because they were so late in the year in production. So that is a pretty rare sled racing just a couple of races ago. Race 22, that was ridden by the 33R of Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. So 1 of 500, 1994 and a half Polaris XCRs. It's like a collector's item. Looks like the 94 is going to start on the inside. That is Brian Kep out of Rosewood, Manitoba. 1976 Mercury. Well, the number 15's going for a ride. Maybe he had enough waiting, I'm not sure. Or he is just confirming there's a left turn at the end of the front straightaway. But it looks like he's going to do a right turn now, so obvious problems there. Looks like we're going to do a restart. We had a jumper, I understand, over the radio. So we're going to try this one again. The mini sleds continue over on the other side of the back straightaway. Another rider has left the racetrack, so we are paring them down here pretty quick. And we don't have a lap in yet. Many thanks to our sponsors here at CPTC. They include FXR Racing, Wet Distribution and Sales, and MacDon. Albert Ratty out of Prince Albert at the start line. Doug Bettel is out of Anola on the 866. The 14 coming up is Jared Koopman out of Jansen, Saskatchewan. The 94 pulls up on the inside. Brian Kep out of Rosewood, Manitoba. So it looks like Doug Bettel out of Anola was the one blamed for the jump start, and here we go once again. Well, Bettel comes from the back on the 866 and is already in the second spot. Superstock 250, 300, 340 fan final scheduled for 5 laps. Tension in the pit area. Next up, ice bikes, then ATVs. The 94 here is off the pace. Brian Kep out of Rosewood, Manitoba. Slowing on the 1976 Mercury. Really slowing. In fact, slow to stop now. The 509 of Albert Ratty out of Prince Albert has it figured out on the 75 John Deere as he leads this Superstock 250, 300, and 340 fan final. Ticking off the laps here. 5 to start in race 23. Albert Ratty unchallenged on the John Deere. Doug Bettel out of Anola. Second, third, the 14. That is Jared Koopman out of Jansen, Saskatchewan. That is a 1981 Yamaha. White flag coming out for the leader now. That is the 509 of Albert Ratty out of Prince Albert, taking one final lap. 4 down, 1 to go. Doug Bettel second, 14 is third, Jared Koopman. Checkered flag is out. The 509 will be your winner unofficially. Albert Ratty. All right, the 71 of Amy Hood out of Beausejour comes to the starting line on the 2021 Kawasaki. The 418 is Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour. Riding the 11 is Hunter Brink out of Kakabeka Falls, Ontario. And the number 14, keep your eyes on this guy, Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg on a 2022 Cowie. It's time for race 24, the Ice Bike Open class for 5 laps. These bikes get up to speeds of about 80 miles per hour. Maximum 550cc engines. Most of them are 450 4-strokes. 4-valve, pretty exotic engines. Korolavich is second. First is Ryan Rondeau. Next up will be your ATV Open for 4 laps. If you're in that class, you need to be in staging immediately. $82 miles per hour on the previous lap. The number 14, Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg, riding that 2022 Kawasaki. Real quick around the facility. Colton Korolavich is out of Beausejour. That's an 09 Yamaha. The 11 is Hunter Brink, the 71 Amy Hood. White flag, 1 to go. One more race before a Quebec's intermission break, and that will be the ATV Open. But first, we need to solve the Ice Bike Open, and I know the rider up front has got it figured out. And checkered flag is out for that winner, the number 14 of Ryan Rondeau out of Winnipeg. Second, Colton Korolavich out of Beausejour. Third spot, number 11. That is Hunter Brink. Amy Hood fourth out of Beausejour on the number 71. That is a 2021 Team Green Kawasaki entry. Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour on the 418 finishes up. That is a 14 Kawasaki. All right, one more to go before our Quebec's grooming break, and that will be race 25 on your schedule. ATV Open. The 811 is going to be Ryan Adrian. The 18 Tyler Feeblecorn out of Beausejour. The 34 Mark Sexton, if he'll make it. He didn't make the last one, and it appears he will not be in this one. And the 25 is Corey Johnson out of Oakbank on a 2007 Yamaha. So 3 competitors for 4 laps in the ATV Open class. You're allowed up to a 1200cc engine having either one or a pair of cylinders. They have to be naturally aspirated, so no turbochargers or superchargers, and no nitrous whatsoever allowed. No laughing gas. Okay, so that's 811 on the inside, right? Well, the 811 is going to give everybody a chance here. Let's see when he decides to go. Let's go now. I'll give you a chance, but not too much of a chance here. Looks like could be Corey Johnson up front out of Oakbank in turn number 3. But keep your eyes on the 811 of Ryan Adrian out of Lac de Bonnie. He did wait a long time at that starting line after the green flag dropped. He should have let the rest of these guys start at 9 a.m. this morning. Look at that speed down the back straightaway. That thing is quick. The 811 Ryan Adrian out of Lac de Bonnie, 2008 KTM. Ryan is either an absolutely fantastic rider or that thing's way bigger than 1200 cc's. Like Chevy V8 big. White flag is out. 1 to go. Quebec's intermission break coming up next for grooming. And checkered flag is out. Your winner, the 811 Ryan Adrian out of Lac de Bonnie, Manitoba, riding that very, very quick 2008 KTM. Tyler Feeblecorn out there as well, as is Corey Johnson on the number 25 out of Oakbank, the 2007 Yamaha. Those are your top 3 and only 3 on the racetrack. Mark Sexton was a scratch in race 25, the ATV Open class. All right, time for a grooming break brought to you by Quebec's. Want to thank FXR Wet Distribution and Sales and MacDon for their sponsorship. Don't forget to visit the beer garden, get some of that great-looking CPTC promo wear for Christmas. And the concession area is open. Grab something to eat. The food there is great. We'll be back shortly here at the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. All right, we're back. Race 26, Pro Formula 500 for 5 laps. We have a scratch. The 15 of Kyle Omachinski out of Beausejour will not compete in this one. Number 9 is Stefan Carignan out of Winnipeg. The 446 is Mike Shackelford. Mike is out of Oakville, Manitoba, out of 1990 Polaris. The 33R is Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. He has been rocket fast all day on that 89 Polaris. The number 685 is Tanner Davey out of Badger, Minnesota. The 91 Sam Glure from Whitemouth. Riding the 24 is Jordan Sobetsky out of Beausejour. That is a 1991 Polaris. The 95 is Jerry LePage from Murillo, Ontario, on an 89 Polaris. And on a 2015 Acme Company chassis. The 96 is Bruce Rosentreader from Whitemouth, Manitoba. So this is race 26 on your schedule. The Pro Formula 500s for 5 laps. Our upcoming race 27 is scratched off your program. Scratch race 27 after this race. We'll move right into the Ice Bike Open, and then the Pro Lights race 28 and 29 on your schedule. This should be a good one. Lots of competitors here in race 26. Les Kyle Omachinski out of Beausejour. The number 15 will not make it. Getting set to go. It's tight in turn 1 and 2. Oh boy, heads up almost. Great recovery by all the riders, but that was looking, well, not good for a while. '24 is your leader. That is Jordan Sobetsky. He is out of Beausejour, Manitoba, sponsored by Sobetsky Enterprises. 80 miles per hour on the previous circuit. This is your Pro Formula 500 class, race 26 on the schedule. Sobetsky is looking awful good up front. That sled is moving. .83 miles per hour on the previous lap.
95 is, I don't think is second. I think he's third or fourth, maybe. We'll try to see here. This is Sobetsky.
Sobetsky takes the white flag. Great battle for third and fourth spot here. The number 95 involved in that one. That is Jerry LePage out of Murillo, Ontario on the 1989 Polaris. That is some good racing for third and fourth spot as your leader coming out of turn number 4 now. Jordan Sobetsky will take it.
I don't know who was second.
All right, we couldn't make out the number, but second spot is the 91 of Sam Glure out of Whitemouth. Sam Glure out of Whitemouth, Manitoba, the 89 Polaris, unofficially second. All right, once again a reminder, we will scratch race number 27 on your schedule now. That was to be the Pro Formula 3 race, but they will not make it for this one, so we will move to the race 28 division. That is the Ice Bike Open division. And we have a total of 5 of them set to come our way. We'll see if they all make it.
I never saw what he did 1 after 3, but I saw what he did 4 there.
So here's how they line up in the Ice Bikes. The 71 is Amy Hood out of Beausejour. Riding the 117 from Beausejour also is Colton Korolavich. The number 11 is Hunter Brink out of Kakabeka Falls, Ontario. The 14, Ryan Rondeau. He's been pretty dominant on his 2022 Kawasaki all day. And the 418 is Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour. That is a 2014 Kawasaki. All right, our Ice Bikes now approaching Riley, our starter. There was originally only a couple of bikes get to the staging area, so they were going to cut the laps, but I believe now they're going to stick with the 5 laps that are prescribed on the lineup sheet here. It looks like we have 5 bikes and 5 on the lineup sheet, so 5 laps for the Ice Bike Open. This will be the final appearance of our two-wheeled class here today. Good start for the 71 of Amy Hood. Korolavich on the 117 right there as well. Wow, look at that battle in turn number 1 and 2. Amy Hood gets the whole shot but drops to third. Rondeau in the first spot. Korolavich second. Amy Hood third. They are getting at it early in the Ice Bike Open. 1 lap down, 4 laps remaining. .81 miles per hour on the previous lap. Your leader, Ryan Rondeau, on the number 14, setting a torrid pace. Korolavich, then the number 11 is third. That is Hunter Brink. Amy Hood is on the 71, and the 418 is Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour. Amy Hood on the number 71 trying to reel in the 11 of Hunter Brink out of Kakabeka Falls, Ontario. Pair of Kawasaki's battling on the racetrack. White flag for your race leader, the 14 of Ryan Rondeau. Korolavich still second. The 11 third and the 71 of Hood fourth. Hood is within striking distance of the number 11 in turn number 2, but has to work quickly. This is the final lap of the Ice Bike Open division. Checkered flag, Ryan Rondeau. Not much question about that one. He gets her done. Beausejour's Colton Korolavich second. The 11 and the 71 finish in that order, but the 71 of Amy Hood making it interesting. 5th spot, the 418, Brady Sinclair out of Beausejour on a 2014 Kawasaki. Next up, race 29, the Pro Lights, and this is a final for 5 laps. We'll bring you that live. All right, the Pro Light final we have. Well, we have about 4 on our lineup sheets, but I only see 2 in the corner, so we will confirm this for you as they get to the start-finish line. They will cut laps in this final. Who is here? The number 26, Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour on the Arctic Cat, sponsored by Funk's Toyota. And it looks like the 91 of Sam Glure out of Whitemouth. Oh, we got another one, the 29 coming out now. Brad Harrison out of Enola. 2014 wall chassis. All right, small field, 3 riders, 3 laps in this final. That's a good way to do it. 3 riders, 3 laps. 91 Sam Glure showing the way here in this 3-lap final for the Pro Lights. Coming up next, Sportsman 600s for 5 laps. White flag is out for the number 91. 29 is second. 26 third out of Beausejour is Quinn Whitechuck. Sam Glure from Whitemouth, Manitoba on a 2012 wall chassis. Really taking it to the rest of the field here in this final. Pro Lights are done. 91 Sam Glure will win it. 29 Brad Harrison and the 26 of Quinn Whitechuck finished second and third respectively. Quinn Whitechuck out of Beausejour on the 2019 Arctic Cat grabs the third spot in your 3-lap Pro Light final. Next up, Sportsman 600s for 5 laps.
Figured that.
Here's your lineup in the Sportsman 600 race for 5 laps, race 30 on your schedule. We are getting there to the end now, getting closer and closer with each and every race. Scratch John Zielinski out of Winnipeg, the second listed driver on your lineup sheets. John Zielinski will not appear in this one. The 33R should be here. That's Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. Riding the number 13 out of Beausejour is John Hall. Also out of Beausejour on a 2000 Polaris, the number 15 is Kyle Omachinski, and the 16 is DJ Saluk out of Beausejour. Riding the 23, rounding out the field, should be Will Manchelenko, and there he is on the F3 Skidoo. The 23, Will Manchelenko, starting outside in this race number 30 on your schedule, the Sportsman 600s. Oh, heads up, almost a high side in turn number 1 and 2. A good recovery by the rider as we head into turn number 3 and 4. Great racing for second and third spot. Sportsman 600s on the racetrack for 5 laps this time. .33 is your leader. That's Will Resenbrink. 16 is DJ Saluk. Sponsored by Extreme Performance Automotive on McPhillips. Like to welcome those guys here to the racetrack. 80 miles per hour, 80 miles an hour for these Sportsman 600s. They are moving. .13 and the 15, third and fourth. John Hall and Kyle Omachinski are third and fourth now. But your leader is pulling away. Wow. Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota, riding that 1994 and a half XCR Polaris. Got a rider off the track, entering the pit area. But up front it is still Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. White flag is out. DJ Saluk second. 13 third, that's John Hall out of Beausejour. 23 is fourth, that's Will Manchelenko. He is from St. Malo. It was a 1996 Skidoo he is riding.
33R Will Resenbrink.
Winner, Will Resenbrink out of Malacca, Minnesota. Second spot to the number 16 of DJ Saluk, sponsored by Extreme Performance Automotive on McPhillips. 13, John Hall, followed by the 23 of Will Manchelenko. That is your unofficial top 4 in race 30, the Sportsman 600 class.
So it could
All right, coming up next, qualifier for the Jerry Bunkey Cup. This is round 2 for 4 laps. This race will be run tomorrow for the final. Race 31, IFS 440X. The 65 is Norm Chura. He is from Enola, Manitoba. Riding the 370 is Matt Zalai from Garson. The 21 is Tyler Obi out of Beausejour on a 79 Skidoo. The 80 is Joe Presta from Beausejour. Joe is riding a 79 Skidoo. All right, let's see who we have. We have 4 on our lineup sheets. We have 4 on the racetrack. That's perfect. The world is aligning. Norm Chura on the inside. Matt Zalai on the 370. Second inside, Tyler Olby on the 21. Joe Presta out of Beausejour on the outside, and we're racing here. The IFS 440X Jerry Bunkey Cup qualifier. Final to run tomorrow. Ooh, they are close for second and third. Look at that. What a race. All 4 of them, in fact. '21 Tyler Obi looking strong. Beausejour, Manitoba native on the 79 Skidoo. These IFS 440X sleds are quick. .91 miles per hour. White flag coming out this time around. This was a 4-lap race, 3 down, 1 to go. Your winner, Tyler Obi. He'll be followed by the 80 of Joe Presta. Chura will be third. Norm Chura out of Enola, Manitoba on the 79 Skidoo, looking good. But Tyler Obi in the number 1 spot. In fact, 2 Beausejour riders, number 1 and 2, Tyler Obi and Joe Presta on the 79 Skidoo. That'll do it for race 31 on your schedule, the IFS 440X class. Couple races before intermission, then we will move to our much anticipated USSA Pro Star Cup race here today. Tomorrow is the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. That race, of course, carried over from March due to COVID restrictions, so we'll race that tomorrow, crown a 59th champion, and then in March, we'll do event number 60 for the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. Three racers in race 33, Junior 2 Sprint 600s for 14 to 17-year-olds. Hunter Johnson is out of Drayton, North Dakota, riding the number 59. Aboard the 13 is Dale Hunter out of Thamesford, Ontario. That is a 1998 Wall Brothers chassis. And the 60 is Braxton Cassidy from St. Genevieve, Manitoba. Race 33, Junior 2 Sprint 600s are underway, and the 59 has decided that they are leaving the field. Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota, on a 2020 Johnson Racing chassis is already almost half a straightaway from the rest of the field. That was a quick start. Wow. Hunter Johnson in command. Dale Hunter is on the number 13. The number 60 is Braxton Cassidy. White flag already out. Your leader on the final lap here. Junior 2 Sprint 600 class for 14 to 17-year-olds. And the 59, Hunter Johnson out of Drayton, North Dakota, gets it done aboard the 2020 Johnson Racing chassis. Wins by a long shot. Dale Hunter out of Thamesford, Ontario, on a 98 Wall Brothers chassis will unofficially finish second. And Braxton Cassidy over in turn 4 out of St. Genevieve, Manitoba, riding a 1999 Polaris, will cross the finish line here momentarily in the third and final spot. Well, if you've bought a 50-50 ticket, we do have a winning number. Now, this winning number will be posted at the beer garden as well, and that is where you can collect your prize if you have this ticket number. 211557. 211557. You have won $323.50, and the money is at the beer gardens. Hey, we want to do a quick shout out to Chris Nelson watching all the way from Hawley, Minnesota. Hey, Chris, hope you're enjoying today's CPTC event. Again, the 50-50 winning number, 211557, $323 and 50 cents available at the beer garden. Kieran Lauren a scratch in this particular race, race 32. 35 will be Dylan Barron out of Enola. Also out of Enola is Norm Chur on the 65. Jerry LePage should be in this one, the number 95. There he is. Vic Mazer scheduled to start on the number 44. The 20 is Bryce Olson, and the 223 is Adam Braun out of Winnipeg. 1981 Kawasaki. Here we go, we're racing. Good start for the number 44. Vic Mazer out of West St. Paul, Manitoba. That is a 73 Polaris. Out front and in command. Pro Mod 340, Super Mod 340, Super Stock 440 final on the track. Race number 32. The 44 is your leader. Adam Braun is on the 223 out of Winnipeg, looking pretty good. Jerry LePage on the 95 out of Murillo, Ontario. Way off the pace here. This race 32 scheduled for 5 laps. Vic Mazer on the 44 out of West St. Paul, Manitoba, being pursued by the Kawasaki. Dylan Barron on the 35 is third. Dylan is out of Enola, Manitoba. That is a 73 Polaris in the third spot. A distant third, but third nonetheless. White flag for your leader. Bryce Olson fourth out of Tisdale, Saskatchewan, pursuing Dylan Barron. Here's a race down the back straightaway. This is the final lap, and second place is catching the leader here, but will he have enough? Checkered flag is in the air, and the 44 is going to win it, followed by the 223 of Adam Braun. A good finish there. Dylan Barron on the 35 will take third. Bryce Olson on the 24th. Bryce Olson out of Tisdale, Saskatchewan, riding a real nice-looking 77 Arctic Cat. All right, we will now move to a Quebex grooming break and come back with your USSA Pro Star Cup final. That coming up, our final race of the day after the grooming break. Grab yourself something at the concession area or visit the beer garden and, of course, grab yourself an ice cold one and check out the all-new promo wear at the beer garden. We'll be back with you momentarily. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the first time in 643 days, we are back for a feature event, the USSA Final, and your first competitor is out of Garson, Manitoba. The number 370 is Matt Zalai. It is first ever USSA Final, sponsored by Otto's Custom Upholstery and Sobetsky Enterprises. And a local boy, also out of Goner, Manitoba. This is a Skidoo-sponsored rider, 2017 Valcourt champion. Put your hands together for Travis McDonald. And in his first ever USSA Pro Final, another local rider aboard an Arctic Cat. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Beausejour's Quinn Whitechalk. He is sponsored by Whitechalk Carpentry and Funk's Toyota. Nice looking sled, getting ready for the battle for 15 laps here at CPTC. And coming up next, your next rider is out of Dayton, Minnesota on a 2022 wall chassis. This is the Cook Motorsports number 75. Let's hear it for Calvin Cook. And the next rider is out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, a four-time world champion and the reigning CPTC champion. Let's hear it. He is sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing and FXR of the 2020 Polaris. Let's hear it. That is Blaine Stevenson. And your next rider, hailing from West Chicago, Illinois, on the number 220. This rider has won an awful lot of races on tour and does just a great job on the Red Bull Skidoo, two-time USSA champ, three-time CPTC champ. That is G-Money Gunnar Stern. 643 days, and now it is time for the USSA Final. Here we go. All right, it is time for your USSA Pro Star Cup Final. 15 laps is the distance. Pro Champ 440s. Who's going to win it? We're going to find out right away. Gunnar Stern with a great hole shot. Matt Zalai with problems on the 370 as he pulls off the racetrack. The race is in turn 1 and 2 now, and it is a good one. Look at the battle in turn 3 and 4, all part of your USSA Pro Star Cup Final. Travis McDonald, the local boy, on the skidoo, is in command of this one. He is your leader, Gunnar Stern. Green sled is off. That is none other than White Chuck pulling off. But right now, the battle is up front. Travis McDonald being pursued by G-Money, Gunnar Stern. This is going to be a great race. Blaine Stevenson third on the Wall Brothers 102. Calvin Cook fourth. What a race into turn 1 and 2. Side by side they go. Gunnar Stern looking to the outside of the racetrack. McDonald making the inside work. What a battle. The Red Bull Skidoo doing everything he can to try to get by a very fast Travis McDonald on the XPS Skidoo. Blaine Stevenson on the Wall Brothers 102 in third spot. But the best race in the place is for the most important spot, and that is position number 1. Travis McDonald lives not far from here in Goner, Manitoba. Has won some big races. And look at this battle now. This one is close. Wow. Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois, not giving an inch here, nor is Goner, Manitoba's Travis McDonald on the 8. USSA Pro Star Cup Final here. And what a way to kick off the season with the best race of the day right now on the track. This is impressive. .94 miles an hour as we have a new leader now. G-Money, Gunnar Stern, Travis McDonald with an issue. McDonald pulls to the right side of turn number 1, and that is a tough break for Goner, Manitoba's Travis McDonald. He will be disappointed with that one. That was a rocket fast sled for several laps. There's your leader, the Red Bull Skidoo of Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois. He knows how to get around this racetrack. Calvin Cook on the Cook Motorsports 75 ticks down another lap. Gunnar Stern in the number 1 spot. Blaine Stevenson on the 102. In the second spot, Gunnar Stern with about a half a back straightaway lead on the 102, sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing in Greenbush, Minnesota. G-Money, Gunnar Stern coming up on lap traffic now. That is Calvin Cook on the Cook Motorsports number 75. Stern will go by on the outside. That line has worked for him throughout this USSA Pro Star Cup final race. Right now, the 220 looking untouchable. What a job so far. This race originally scheduled for 15 laps, 14 are in the books. And the white flag is out. One more for G-Money Gunnar Stern out of West Chicago, Illinois. The Red Bull Skidoo on its final trek around the big half-mile oval here in Beausejour. And what a job Gunnar Stern has done so far. Into 3 and already out of 4 and down the long front straightaway. Gunnar Stern will pick up the USSA Pro Star Cup final event. Second spot to the 102 of Blaine Stevenson. Third will go to Calvin Cook unofficially out of Dayton, Minnesota on the 2022 Wall Brothers Racing chassis. All right, in just a couple of minutes, we will get some trackside interviews with your top 3 in the USSA Pro Star Cup final. A good one it was. Tough break for Travis McDonald on the number 8, but wow, did he set a torrid pace early. All right, we have our top 3 down here in the USSA Pro Star Cup final. The number 75, Calvin Cook, with a good run, a 3rd spot today to begin that USSA series. We'll give him a second to get his helmet off. Top 3 are here. Cooldown.tv bringing you the footage. Well, Calvin, a heck of a race out there. Tell you, a real fast-looking racetrack. How did you feel?
We're getting there with everything. It's our first year in champ, so we're still in the learning process, I guess, but it's a new year for us, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure you'll get some data today and come back tomorrow and compete for that 59th. That would be a big one to win.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about it for Calvin Cook on the 75? Taking 3rd here at CPTC. And in the 2nd spot, the number 102, sponsored by Wall Brothers Racing, Blaine Stevenson. Well, a real fast half mile here. You do a great job. You're the reigning CPTC champion. What do you have to bring here tomorrow in order to win it again?
New cylinder on the right, on the mag side. So we blew up there in round 3, leading, and so we're confident where we're at. We probably lost a bunch of power right here, and they're motoring those 2 Skidoos. So we're gonna fix this up right tonight, and yeah, hopefully we have something better tomorrow. But I think overall our trim is pretty good. The sled's been amazing. Can't thank Dave and Dermont Wall enough for giving me this opportunity, and everybody at Wall Brothers Racing for all the hard work they put in. Everybody at Polaris, Walker Evans, FXR. It's cool to be around here with all the FXR stuff. So 60 helmets, Woody's traction, just everybody who helps us out. Thank you.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? 2nd spot, Blaine Stevenson out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. And now the guy that finished 1st here and absolutely dominated, a great job, Gunnar Stern. I'll tell you, is that sled set up well?
Yeah, it's we do pretty well here, and today it was really rocking. Had a lot of speed, and we're just since we switched to the stock motors, we're starting to get a little bit more experience with these things, and just get a little bit faster. And sled was handling great, and the track's super smooth, for one day, and hopefully stay smooth tomorrow, and we'll go back at it tomorrow.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Your feature winner tonight, Gunnar Stern on the 220 out of West Chicago, Illinois. Great job by all the riders in the Pro Champ division, all part of the USSA Pro Star Cup. We're going to let them celebrate down here and talk to you a little bit more coming up shortly. All right, the celebration is going on. Spectators are welcome down on the front straightaway. Just watch out for champagne. Well, once again, congratulations to our top three finishers in the Pro Champ 440 class. Don't forget, start time tomorrow is 10:30 for the 59th running of the Canadian Power Toboggan Championships. We're looking forward to that. Have a good time in the beer garden post-event here today. And, of course, we'll see you tomorrow right here at CPTC at 10:30. Thanks for tuning in here at the track and also on cooldown.tv. We'll see you Sunday in Beausejour.